Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. We are from Group 8 of International Undergraduate Program from Faculty of Law in University of Jenderal Soedirman. So today we are here to present our presentation on the assignment for public international law that have been given to analysis of film which related to IHL.
So before we start, we're gonna introduce ourselves. I'm Balqis Khonssanita Hernawan Putri with student number E1BO21003.
And I'm Marsha Putri Fata with study number E1BO21013.
So before we discuss about the film that we will present this time, we will explain what is humanitarian law. Humanitarian law is a protection that must be applied in carrying out war. It has the principle of distinction, proportionality, and prudence, with the intention that in war everyone must be protected from all violence and we are prohibited from acting as we please. So we must be able to distinguish between the targets which can be attacked and cannot be attacked. So the example of the target which cannot be attacked in IHL are cultural heritage, wounded soldier, civilians, and medical terms. So there are two main sources of IHL, namely the Geneva Convention and Den Haag Convention. The Geneva Convention, which regulate the protection in a war, and Den Haag Convention, which regulate the procedure in a war. So what is the meaning of procedure in a war? It means that in a war we have a limitation that we are not allowed to using a chemical weapons or it calls biological weapons. So what is the example of the chemical weapons are nuclear, mustard gas, or booby traps.
So, since when did humanitarian law apply? Humanitarian law began in the 19th century after the end of World War II. Since then, all of the countries have to agree with those rules. And we choose the film 71 Into the Fire because this film tells the story of armed war between South Korean and North Korean that took place from 1950 to 1953 in Korea. I will tell you a little bit about the movie. So, the movie is set in war where high school students are in one province, namely Pohang province, where they are chosen to be SEALs as student soldiers. The addition of troops had to be done because the South Korea state at the time lacked troops to protect Pohang province from North Korean soldiers, so that the province was not occupied by the North Korea. So this is the real photo taken during the wartime. The reason why we choose this film, the first one is based on true story, because this movie was talk about real story about war that happened between Korean War. And the second one is the conflicts between South Korea and North Korea are very popular. So much people already know about this war.
The third, in this movie, students fight against North Korean soldiers to defend their territory, the Pohang area. Even they're untrained and they don't have experience of using weapons. And fourth, the Cold War between North Korea and South Korea is still going on. Like everyone in this world already know about this conflict. So this is very interesting for us to discuss.
So the next one is I'm going to talk about the facts about the movie. 71 Into the Fire is based on true story of the 71 South Korea students who fight against hundreds of North Korea soldiers in front of the Pohang High School during the Korean War. The area is a critical point for guarding the Nakdong River border.
So the beginning of the making of the film 71 Into the Fire was the discovery of a letter from a student named Lee Woo-gun, who was one of the 71 student soldier. The picture above is one of the many letters that written by the student soldier who did not think they would make it through the war alive. So one of the letter was one to his mother.
First, film 71 Into the Fire was directed by John H. Lee, who also co-wrote the film script with Lee Man-hee and Kim Dong-woo.
The second, the film was released on June 16, 2010.
3. The cost of making the film 71 Into the Fire is estimated to be around $10 million.
And fourth, after being screened globally, the film 71 Into the Fire managed to earn more than 20 million. So this film is profitable. If we associate it with IHL principle or International Humanitarian Law principle, of course there is a crime that committed and there is also a principles that are applied in the war.
But also, there is war crimes committed in the Battle of Pohang War.
The war crimes are committed. The one is the shooting of wounded soldier, because there is a part when some soldiers shoot at dying people out there.
Secondly, North Korea employs minors to engage in war because there are parts where children come to South Korean soldiers and threaten South Korean soldiers using the weapons they carry. After all, one of the South Korean soldiers shot the northern boy.
But there is also a principle of protection carried out by the South Korean army because after that, the little boy was rescued and taken to the headquarters.
However, in the end, the child was shot at when his condition was dying because there had been a ceasefire from North Korea again.
Next is the similar past or current issue with the movie. Because the movie 71 Into the Fire is based on a true story, so this is the same issue that happened in the 1950 Pohang War.
And until now, the war conditions between North Korea and South Korea have not ended. They are still in the state of a Cold War.
The conclusion about this film is based on a true story of a Group 71 undertrained and underarmed outgunned student soldier of South Korea during the Korean War, who were mostly killed on August 1950 during the Battle of Pohang.
The students choose to sacrifice themselves to defend their homeland. The North Koreans choose to kill students. Their sacrifice was only a small part of the whole Korean War. But their example still inspires people. So that's all for our presentation for today. Thank you for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Bye.
Bye.